The old woman discovered something very strange. The old house which had been vacant for 3 years suddenly had signs of life. Her daughter who worked abroad, also returned. She excitedly went to hug her daughter, whom she hadn't seen in years, but found she couldn't touch her at all. She passed right through her daughter. The mother was stunned, but she quickly remembered that she had already died, and was now just a soul. The old woman's name was Fuzi. 3 years after her death, she was given the chance to visit the living world. The underworld messenger told Fuzi, according to the rules of the underworld, she could stay in the living world for 3 days, but couldn't touch the living, and couldn't communicate with them, and the messenger would take her soul away after 3 days. Fuzi began to worry about her daughter. How could she, who always worked abroad, return to the countryside? Fuzi wanted an answer, but the other person couldn't hear anything. After wandering around with her daughter for a while, Fuzi discovered she not only learned to repair furniture, but also opened a small restaurant in the countryside. Seeing her daughter take pickles from the cellar, Fuzi's thoughts drifted back to the past. At that time her relationship with her daughter Pearl was not close. In conversation she also tried to please her daughter. The old house had a cellar, which was said to have been dug by the previous owner. There, many of the pickles she made were stored. Listening to her mother's chatter, Pearl did not respond at all. But 3 years after Fuzi's death, Pearl made spicy soup with her mother's pickles. Fuzi stood by and watched, surprised that her daughter could cook. As the delicious food was served on the table, Fuzi's doubts grew stronger. Had her daughter encountered trouble abroad? After sending off the customers, Pearl went to the convenience store to buy sesame oil. The neighbors whispered as they saw her passing by, if Fuzi were still alive, she might faint seeing Pearl return to the countryside. She used to brag about her daughter having a great job abroad, but now she returned to the countryside to open a restaurant. The grandmother at the convenience store was Fuzi's friend. She also treated Pearl like her own daughter. She couldn't understand why Pearl returned to the countryside either, so she didn't want to sell her sesame oil. But unable to resist Pearl's talkative, the grandmother put the sesame oil in her basket. She asked Pearl when she would leave, but Pearl was unwilling to answer her question.